the fuck is
I'm recording this now.
All right.
Everybody
Recording in progress.
here, we got welcome to BeanTown, Banter and Bullshit. We got Lincoln always up in the left-hand corner. We got Kev down on the bottom. That's what I'm looking at anyway, but those are the names. It's obviously not me. But welcome to another episode. Obviously, we're going to have some Celtic banter tonight. Tom, how was your week?
This week was fucking eventful, man. Like really the Danny Ainge and Brad Stevens story, it's sort of like the day it hit me would have been Wednesday. So it was only yesterday, I guess. But I feel like I've read 38 articles about it since then and read a lot of commentary. And then you get the Danny Ainge pushback against Kyrie Irving right in the middle of that.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a lot of reading and sort of formulating an opinion, but no, Man, it's a hard one to land on. I'm actually dependent on you guys. Do you have like a strong opinion one way or another? I do have strong opinions, but I don't know where to start with on that story. It's such a it's so many things happening at once. It's hard for me to like know where to focus.
I know where I stand. I'll tell you, you're right. There's been a lot of content out there. And I know at least where I stand on everything. I know that I think you can't throw things at players no matter what. It doesn't matter. Like I said, unless you're willing to fight the man and there's an actual way to fight him and you don't throw shit, that it's not manly, it's not tough, there's nothing tough about it. Second.
I agree with you that it's a douchebag move, but I do also think that if he'd gone in there and beaten the fuck out of that poor kid, that would not have been justice either. You know what I mean?
But that's just it. He knows that Kyrie can't do that. So that's why he's throwing
and that's why it's such a pussy move. It's such a hard fucking
What are you throwing a half a water bottle for? People are saying, oh, it's only but what are you doing that for? There's no reason. You know what? For the mere fact that the janitor's got to pick that up, that kid's not going to pick that up. You shouldn't do it. How about that? That's right there. It's over.
Yeah. I agree. He shouldn't have done it. It's one of those. Will the punishment fit the crime? Will the social media vilification fit the crime? I mean, somebody probably threw a Molotov cocktail at a Boston cop within the last month, and you're not going to hear that guy's name. Right, but this dude, we're going to know forever. Literally, we're going to know him forever. His name.
I feel bad for the kid. He's going to get. He's going to get the book thrown at him. Yeah, he's fucked.
Hey guys, Mike, your audio doesn't sound as good on my end. Does he sound okay to you, Tom?
Mike, say something.
Check 1 2.
Yeah, you're a little bit low. I get you. I hear what you're saying, Kev. I don't know how I sound. See, the problem with the headphones.
Tom is clear tonight.
Yeah, I'm clear. I'm far away. I'm further away from now.
Okay, that's probably what it is. Just distance from the mic. That's probably all it is. But you're a good call, Kev. It was a little bit lower.
What do you think? Is that better?
A little bit, but you're still lower than Tom. I'm thinking about actually. I have a microphone, like a music microphone, but I don't have a stand for it. So I think at some point I'm going to pick up a stand so we can, kind of have it right there. So you're talking right into the mic. I think that'll probably help us because I'm the same as you, Mike. I'm talking. I end up sliding far away from the mic, which is on the laptop.
I think I got a headset that I can use at some point. But
all right, that's what it is, Mike. Is you've got a tiny bit of echo. That's what it is because I'm sure I do too, but it's not just that you're low, it's a tiny bit of echo. It does not detract from the podcast. Don't worry about it. Figure out the mic thing later. But you're right, Kev. That was a good call. His levels are different, definitely. Something is weird about it. We'll figure it out. It happens. Whatever.
So what do you think about Danny Ainge?
Oh, God. Are we going to wait till people get on here to talk about this, or do we have to just jump right in?
We have the people here that are talking about it. Let's go.
All right. Good Lord. All right.
Do we really care about anyone else's opinion? I don't
know. It's one of those things I care about so much, I almost don't want to even formulate a pot. All right. I'm going to I think Kevin would be the best guy to start off because I know he's already written an article about this and start with that as a baseline. Kev, what's your opinion of Danny Ainge, greener pastures, all that from the 2040 Sports blog, that stuff?
Well, for me, the main thing is the coach, and you need someone to come in to set the tone that, Brad Stevens is obviously a really nice guy, but he's kind of a cross between Mr. Rogers and Richie Cunningham. He's so nice And a lot of the guys on the team are the same way. I mean, even though Tatum is always complaining to the refs and stuff like that, but when you take him off the court, he's actually really sounds like a really nice kind of soft-spoken kind of guy. Jaylen Brown is a nice guy. Even Marcus Smart, who is the one guy that can kind of bring the fire, but he's become a good sport over the last 3 or 4 years, which you don't want to discourage that. But, he's always the first to help out the guys on the other team and stuff like that. And in a lot of ways, I like that. But at the same time, someone has to take a hard line on this team and kind of inject some testosterone into them. And so you need a coach that's going to come in and do that. I don't know if that's Jason Kidd or whoever it is, but it's got to be someone that comes in and puts some fight back into this team. Not literal fight.
I agree with you. And Jason Kidd, like I've told you before, I appreciated Jason Kidd quite a bit as a player. I remember he would play with a bloody nose, a black eye, whatever. He was a tough fucker, and he's and he is a Hall of Famer, I think, right? So he's going to command that kind of respect. Whether or not that kind of respect still translates to 23-year-olds, I don't even know, but it should.
Yeah.
I would think it would be better than Carol Larson. Like that was the other story. The female coaches. I don't know how that would communicate. Maybe great. Maybe she's so awesome at X's and O's or motivation or something. But yeah, I would take right now. I'm happy sort of with the Sam Cassell, Chauncey Billups, Jason Kidd. Sort of like those are like the those are 3 of the top 5 that have been mentioned a lot. I don't honestly between the 3 of them, I would pick Sam Cassell just to always like the guy, not because I fucking know he's better. But I always liked Sam Cassell, and I like that he hung around. So
Sam
Cassell
what's up? He's good friends with KG. So I think a lot of people want Sam Cassell because they think KG will be in the mix more. But KG came out today and said that he doesn't want to coach because he said he'd get hired and fired in a week.
I saw that. Yeah, that was a great quote.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's exactly
why we
what I
want
would
him.
expect KG to do.
Yes,
Go in there for a week and fucking whip their asses into shape like a drill sergeant, and then be like, "Nope, you shouldn't have said that. Get the fuck out." All right, I'm out.
What do you think about the Coach K aspect?
Well, that's big news down here, I will tell you. I don't know if there are any viewers, but you guys know I'm in North Carolina. Everyone was saying that. Everyone was saying that like the minute both stories coincided, like Brad Stevens leaving the Celtics or not being the Celtics coach, Coach K retiring after this year. But I guess the idea that Coach K isn't retiring until after the next season, that sort of puts a kibosh on it, doesn't it? Right?
Yeah,
it's not like an immediate transfer. It's not.
And the other speculation that made sense to me was Brad Stevens going to in a year go over and coach Duke. But but Duke has already announced they already have a succession plan in place, which I assume is the assistant coach.
Yeah, they did.
They've already announced who this. They've already announced. I don't remember his name, but they've already announced who's going to succeed him.
I think it's Byland. I think it was the Michigan coach. A Michigan coach.
Oh, was it? Okay. All right.
Yeah. I'm John Byland. Am I wrong? Mike.
So, but is he leaving Michigan then?
Am I fucking up 2 stories? God, I just swore again. God, I meant to not swear at all.
That's why I assumed it was an assistant coach because they said it was.
Because I always fuck it up. What? Oh yeah, he may have been an assistant coach. Yeah, that's why, Mike. Because I fuck it up when I try not to swear.
Remember, I think this is episode number 10. We're still beta. It doesn't matter. There's no pressure. We can be beta forever. It doesn't even matter.
Beta forever. That should be the T-shirt, dude. That's the only T-shirt we need.
Tom, what was that? The very first podcast, he said, "Welcome to our beta podcast. Fuck off, run by alpha males," or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I gotta go
You
back
managed to
and
get
that
in
quote.
2 Greek letters.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we got to call it out. You do it. May have been some truth to what you were talking about earlier. They may bring in that Becky Hammond chick, the coach, let them tank, blame it on her, and then.
So there's 2. There's Carol Larson and Becky Hammond.
Yeah.
Carol Larson and Becky Hammond. There are 2 females.
Yeah.
I think I only read the article about Carol Larson, but I just saw the other lady's name. I don't know who she is either. I much. I mean, I read like 3 lines. So are they legit coaches?
Yeah.
Are they legit coaches?
Let me tell you something. You are setting up a shitstorm if you are going to bring in Kara Lawson or Becky to coach with the idea that you're going to tank, oh my God.
Yeah. Well, Tom mentioned that earlier. He said, let them be the fall guy. They're going to take the blame, and then.
Yeah, if you're setting up the first woman to coach an NBA team or any of the major sports, and you're gonna tank on her, oh my God.
But balance
that's
balance in thought. I think what if they win the championship? What if she takes them there?
Well, but what I'm saying, if they're bringing her in really because they think she's the right person, that's different. But if someone you guys just mentioned, bring her in just to tank, you can't do that.
I mean that's some underground stuff, but
and not only that takes tanking off the table. So like in 2007, they didn't begin that season tanking, but they had been trying to get KG for a couple of years. And at some point, I think it was around January when they realized we suck. They went into tank mode. They shut down Paul Pierce. So what happens this year if the Celtics are 5 games under 500 in January and you want to tank, but you can't because you have a woman as your coach and you don't want the first woman coach to be associated with tanking. So you really, that's the problem.
No, I agree. If she ends up with a 15-52 record or something, it's gonna look terrible for her and for the Celtics.
Why do you think they would tank though? Why are people thinking they're gonna tank?
I'm not saying they're gonna tank now. I'm saying, but tanking has to be an option. So if you get to the only way you can improve yourself is through draft picks or free agency. Free agency, you have to have cap room, and it's hard to make. And right now we don't have any, and probably aren't going to for the next few years because
they get rid of
Kemba Walker. What's that?
Kemba's gone.
They're not getting rid of Kemba. Who's going to take that contract?
I'll bet you right here. I'll bet you a shot of Jaeger. We'll do one more.
You got it, man.
One more.
Yeah, but what Kevin was saying,
take that contract?
I think what Kevin was saying is that it's the contract. It's not the player. The Kemba problem is the contract.
Someone will want that contract just to dump it, or get rid of him for next year. They kind of
he's 2 years. He's got an option after this year. So, and I mean, which he's definitely not. He's definitely going to exercise the option. So whoever's taking that contract is getting Kemba for 2 more years.
Maybe someone really likes him. A year. The Lakers.
No, they can't even afford it. But the only way.
Nah, I'm not buying that, Mike. I'm not buying that.
The only way someone would take Walker is if you give him something like you say, okay, here's a draft pick. Here's our first round pick.
Right.
Here's Marcus Smart, which is my idea. Here's Marcus Smart, and take Kemba too.
If you added something onto that, because you're giving them a $22 million a year bill for a guy who plays once
36.
every day.
Yeah.
36.
Good Lord, is it that much? Good
the max
Lord.
contract. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I loved Kemba when he first got here. I loved him, but
he's a great guy.
I still love him. It's just he can't stay on the court enough. He's not on the court enough. So it's tough to pay him that. But I don't know if we can get trade value for him, that'll be great. But I'm afraid we're gonna have to give away more value than we get to get rid of that that loathsome contract. That's however many tens of millions of dollars over 2 years.
Yeah,
there's a reason Ainge is leaving. There's no way to improve this team. There's no way. It's done. There's no more draft picks. There's no more cap room. It's the same reason Doc left in 2013 after they traded, Pierce and KG, because he didn't want to go through a rebuild in the NBA. You could sire a child and raise him to college in the time it takes to rebuild an NBA team. It can take 20 years because you have to get lucky enough to somehow get a couple of guys, unless you're the Lakers or like a situation like the Nets where Kyrie wanted and Durant decided to go there, which is almost never. That's never going to happen to Boston. It happens to LA, maybe New York and Miami, and that's it. So I mean, it could literally take if you have to start tanking, unless you want to do like the process like the Sixers did, and you're willing to tank for 4 or 5 years in a row. You're talking it's 20 years. It might take 40 years. It's a matter of luck. It's a matter of drafting a Zion Williamson, and then hope all the other pieces come into place too. But I mean, it's really hard in the NBA.
Yeah.
So, Ainge looked at that and he said, "What can I do?"
Yeah.
I see Mike Moen is joining us. I only see the name, not the graphics.
I'm just getting some feedback. I'll bring him on so I can just keep it going. We got what I really want to say. Do you think we're going to get rid of Tristan Thompson?
Tristan Thompson doesn't hurt the team in any way. You know what I mean? He's
Yep.
one of those. That's my view of him, at least. He's a
Yeah,
guy
he's only
you
getting-
want on your team. He's not costing you a shitload. I don't think. I don't know.
9 million.
But he's the kind of guy you kind of want on your team. I mean, who else you got to put in there, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you have strong feelings about Tristan, Mike?
I actually, I got to apologize to the guy. I think he was fantastic this year.
Yeah, I think
and
he's well worth having.
I don't think he wasn't like I didn't deem him as the answer, but he was. I loved his attitude this year. His play overall. I mean, he's dirt dog under there. He gets in it with
Yeah,
But
yeah,
keep him,
yeah.
keep him around, man. I think he fits. I think obviously JB and Tatum, they can't go anywhere.
I love Thompson because he's a warrior. I always liked him with Cleveland, and I've loved his attitude here in Boston. But the but is huge here. He has almost zero offensive skill, and he actually has almost zero defensive skill because he can't guard anybody. As you see now, and we've seen it actually all year, but it's now really exposed against the Nets. He's only good at one thing, and that's offensive rebounding, and that's very limited.
I love that.
He's not even a good defensive rebounder because he's only 6'9".
I think his role. I think, like I said, I don't think he's the answer, but his attitude this year too was. I mean, he's not KG, but his attitude is almost KG. I mean, in the media, some of his quotes after the games and everything, his heart was in it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely respect the guy. I love watching a guy that plays that kind of fire, stuff like that. I actually put an article on 2040 Sports after they won Game 3 about that. I didn't believe it was going to continue, but I didn't say that in the article because you got to kind of. But yeah, he brought the fire, and he was the difference in Game 3 because he kept getting all those offensive rebounds in the first half. And that kept him in the game. And so I like the guy, but I don't. But he's not really a part of it. The modern NBA has changed so much. Like me and Tom have talked about, you got to be a Bam Adebayo kind of guy, and there are exceptions. You got like what's his face with Utah. But you got to be a guy that's like 6'9", but you got to have speed and athleticism where you can defend the 3-point line, defend the paint. The days of Drummond are gone. Only 6 years ago, Drummond was one of the best players in the league. A guy like that now is useless. He's too slow. The league has changed so much in a short amount of time that maybe it'll change again. I don't know, but I don't see it. I really think you need that guy that's like 6'9", even like Draymond Green too. You need those guys that are like 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", who are rugged enough to rebound but athletic enough to cover a lot of ground. And I mean, and it's just hard to find those guys.
Give me a Ben Wallace, old school Ben Wallace somewhere.
Oh boy, yeah. Well, okay, but Ben Wallace was a specimen, dude. He was a little bit above, right? Like he was just a beast. I think he would play in any era. I'm pretty sure.
He's going in the Hall, I think, this year. Right?
Ben Wallace, Hall of Famer. Let me think about it. Yeah, probably. I don't know.
He's going in next year.
He's borderline Hall of Fame in my mind. I might have to look at his stats to check it out. But he was dominant for a while.
Oh my God!
Give me a healthy Time Lord.
Yeah. Oh, see, If only Robert Williams could become that would be the.
If he could just stay on the court a little bit, that's kind of what you want. Doesn't really have much offensive skill, but he actually is a pretty good passer, and he's still a young enough player that he's evolving that he could turn into have some improved ability on offense. Up till now, always been as a lob guy, and other teams are onto that and they take it away. So he's not going to get as much of that. But he's a solid free throw shooter, so there's no reason he shouldn't be able to hit mid-range shots a little bit here and there. Some of those big guys, it takes them 5-6 years to learn that stuff. You just got to stay on the court. That's the problem.
Yeah.
No, that was the problem with the Celtics in the late season. Anyways, no one could stay on the court. Kemba couldn't stay on the court. JB wasn't on the court. Robert Williams wasn't on the court. We didn't even see our team. Excuse me. Not that we would have beaten Brooklyn, even if everyone was healthy, but it's just such a pathetic representation of our team to have them out there without 3 starters or like 2.5 starters. Basically, it's like, you show up, but you're gonna lose. It sucks.
Yeah. All right. Hold on. Let me bring. God. Go ahead, Kev.
As a general manager, your job is really just to try to put as much talent on the roster as you can, and I think Ainge did that. But ironically, one of his biggest moves, which was the right move at the time, but really kind of backfired, and they've been reacting to it ever since, was when they traded for Kyrie. So you built, and that's the same season they signed Hayward. So you got Hayward, you got Kyrie, you got young players. You still have, man, think about how bright the future was at that point. We still had the Memphis pick coming up. We still had the Sacramento pick coming up. We had good draft picks in the future in front of us, good young players and good veterans. And I think they still had Horford at that point too, right? And we just, Hayward got hurt. And I'm not even saying they would have been, I think that the chemistry may not have happened anyways. And Kyrie is not really the leader that he wanted to be. So that there's a lot of reasons that team may not have come together. But I mean, that's what he made. He made that move to put it all together. And then Hayward got hurt. And then a couple years later, when Horford and Kyrie left, Danny Ainge had to react, and that kind of forced him. When you make these reaction moves, that's when he goes and he signs Kemba Walker, which is not a great contract, even though it maybe looked good for a few months initially. And then look at this last year. You lose Hayward, and now you're forced to react and what's on the market. So you got Tristan Thompson. So
Hey, are you guys? Hey, excuse me. Are you guys hearing background noise from someone's mic?
Yeah, Mike, I think you got something in the background, Mike. It's giving feedback.
Oh, is that his?
Yeah. Everybody, welcome to. This is Shamrock Holmes, the OG, right here. He is the original.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Thanks for coming on, Mike. What's going on?
Hey,
How
Mike.
was your week?
It's going okay. How's yours?
I can't complain, man. I'm right here where I want to be. So.
Hey, where's Greg Kite when you need him? That's all I'm saying.
Greg Kite. Seriously.
Wow.
Oh, that would be so cool
Yeah,
if all of a sudden his name showed up in the coaching ranks.
Fantastic.
Like they're like, oh, new coach,
Reverend.
Greg Kite.
Greg Kite.
Oh my God.
Hey, R.I.P. to Mark Eaton. Mark Eaton died this week in a
I saw that, yeah.
bike crash or something like that, or a car crash. But really,
It was a bike. The dude was like 7'6". Why is he
Yeah.
riding a fucking bike?
he was riding
Jesus
three of them
Christ,
at the
the
same time.
gravity doesn't work there.
Right, yeah.
You're top heavy.
I was
I didn't know
talking
Mark
to my-
Eaton
I
had
was talking
died.
to my dad the other day. I was talking to him, and we were talking about so mid '80s. The Celtics. It was such an event. My dad would bring the TV out, legit, the old big box TV, out into the yard on nice days, the weekends, and we would watch. Whether it was the Celts Pistons, Celts Lakers, and you guys were talking about how the game has just changed, and it's not the same.
Yeah.
These teams went to war
Yep, absolutely.
in these series, and it was just incredible to watch. The hot and with the whole Ainge thing coming out, and who knows what really happened or how the cookie crumbled, but with him saying that, to let Kyrie, it's one thing, whatever happened, you lied to the fans, you're a piece of shit, but whatever. But to come in and just disrespect an entire franchise, and for these players to just be okay with it.
So this is Brian, Kevin. This is your friend, right?
Yeah, this is Brian, who I just spoke to the first time myself last night. He's a writer for 2040 Sports, and he is a Nets fan.
Which is
And
awesome.
He's
I
with
promoted
us
you
now
tonight.
from Queens, New York.
Yeah, I told Tom to leave his background in the ring tonight because you were coming on.
Hello, Brian.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. I anticipate a productive conversation.
Yep, Brian, thank you for coming on. We appreciate your input. Well, much respect.
Yo,
They
They
thank
always
you
show
guys
up
for
after they
having me.
beat us, huh?
Liz, well, I was wondering right away when my man Mike was saying that like it was a war. I mean, a couple of those games were, but a couple of those games they were not close at all.
You talking about this season's playoffs? Or you talking
Yeah.
about old school?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we got fucking laid out. I'm not gonna fucking sugarcoat that. We lost by 20 at least 3 times or 15.
Yeah, I was
We
strictly
did.
referring to
I
the
get
80s.
that. I
I was not
understand.
referring to this series. We got
Right.
spanked in the series. We
Well-
were up against a team we weren't going to beat no matter what
Yeah.
anyway. They were the better team.
That I get.
No doubt. But listen, but to your guys' credit, I mean, look, Game 1 actually was close for a while. And look, could you guys have been any more outmanned? No Brown, no Robert Williams, who played really well, no Kemba. I mean, you had no chance. If you had those guys, you would have had a chance. You really would have.
Yeah, we would have had a puncher's chance. Your team is better. Brooklyn
correct.
is literally like, look on paper or by any metric that you could really find. Brooklyn is better, right?
Yeah,
I
they
think
should be.
everyone
Yeah,
would kind of
absolutely.
agree to that. Like,
He's
I mean,
100%
it
correct.
doesn't mean we couldn't beat you 4 times out of 7 if we got 1 or 2 lucky ones. But anyway, it still pisses me to fuck off
We haven't
that we had
accepted
to
it.
like, wait for the season and
Yeah, I
everyone
mean,
gets hurt.
the
And
Nets
we don't
at
even
times,
get a
the
good
Nets at
playoff.
times were just on cruise control. It wasn't even like, at times they even had to, push the gas pedal. It was inevitable.
Brian, again, my name is Tom. I'm a friend of Kev's and a friend of Mike Casello and Mike Mullen. I've gotten to know him a few times. So you're a legit Brooklyn fan from Brooklyn? Like, that's your team? Like, I don't know. I'm older than you, so I don't know who picks teams how.
So I got one even better than that.
Okay.
I'm not from
It
Brooklyn.
was a question. So how can you be better than that? Just answer it.
Well, when you're talking about the Nets, I'm from New
Oh,
Jersey.
okay. Oh, gotcha.
Right.
Uh,
So this Brooklyn Nets, that's a thing for these hipsters to be like, yo, look at this like black and white hat I got now. Like, that I'm about the red and the blue New Jersey Nets. I've liked them since, I was that big. But no, I'm not gonna lie. Moving to Brooklyn was kind of a cool thing because they got a really cool new stadium.
Yeah.
They were playing in a dump in Jersey. It was shit.
Parquet floor.
the Continental Arena or whatever the hell. It had a bunch of names, but
do you go to games in person? Obviously not counting COVID year, so going back a year, I guess. Like, do you go to the games? Or are you too far away, really? I know New York's a massive, sprawling place.
It is, and I'm in Queens. I'm in Forest Hills, Queens, so that's a little far from like Flatbush, Brooklyn, where Barclays is.
Where you
But I've
would
been
go
there like 3 times. I saw games 3 times.
Oh, all right, man. So, all right, that's cool. And when they got Durant and Harden and blah blah blah, like when they built it up, did you go again, or has that not happened since the COVID thing? Now I'm trying to think. That almost seems like it was only a year ago.
Right?
But maybe I'm wrong. Have you seen them? What?
I have not. No, it's funny that you say that because like when I literally remember it was like a summer. It was like late June when they announced that Durant was going to the Nets, and it was like, holy shit, this is huge. But no, like basically no one has been to a game since just a couple this year since that moment was announced.
All right. Well, I hope you do get a chance to enjoy it soon enough. I don't know if you're going to be able to go to a playoff game or not because this season's wrapping up, but that would be cool, man. And I'm not a huge fan of the super teams, but you guys kind of got one of them, so you got to go see them when you can, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? When you got a big 3 or something like that, you got to go if you got a chance.
Is Jay-Z still involved?
I think it's fun. I think he's still kind of there, but he's always he's trying to buy like the Washington football team now. He's trying to buy,
the Washington Football Club. Fuck you.
He's gonna,
you fucking Redskins.
He'll change the logo again.
Up.
He'll make them black and white too, like he changed the Nets.
Yeah.
But
hey, if he gives him a name, that's a start. So
I know, yeah, the Ballers or something.
The Washington Rockefellers, give it to him. I don't care. Something. I don't care. But
So,
do you think that Kyrie and Kevin Durant considered the Knicks at all, or was it just always the Nets? Because the Nets were a little better team at that time, I think. But
yeah, well, that's great, Kevin, because actually that is just what I wanted to quickly say about the super team, and you guys are totally right. But the Nets, you have to give them credit in this regard that they did a good job to get themselves set up for that because they really were building a couple of nice young players in the last several years.
Correct.
That made it intriguing to make these trades to bring these guys. And someone like Kyrie, who is super flighty and so Mr. Flat Earther and all that shit. But he's from Jersey, and supposedly he loved the Nets as a kid too. So the Nets kind of was a logical team for him to want to go to.
Kyrie
And I think, honestly,
Kyrie is a fucking loser. That is our stance. That's
Brian,
behind that.
That was
I'll
gonna
take
be
it all the way to fucking center court with Lucky, motherfucker. Oh,
that was
sorry,
gonna
my bad.
be what I was gonna bring up to Brian. What are your thoughts on Kyrie and his, I guess, behavior or actions in the last few games?
yeah, look, definitely. I will tell you exactly what I think. So many ways, reasons that I'm like, this guy's a punk. I don't want him on my team. I'd rather face a guy like that who can't handle it when it gets real tough. But
Yeah,
I will
respect.
say this, that this year in the beginning, he was pulling all this, I'm too like mentally like exhausted to like play. And there's so much going on in my mind. He did play really, really well this season.
He
So
did.
you look and you're
He's a
like, shit,
phenomenal player.
this guy's a player. Like, he is really that good. But with all these antics and everything, listen, there is no doubt he is the third fiddle at best. This is about Durant and Harden.
Yeah.
Durant and Harden are the two thoroughbreds leading this team, and Kyrie is a decent third. So
Yeah, Durant
it.
to me is one of the most complete players that I've probably ever seen play
Yeah.
basketball.
Hey, shout out to
Absolutely.
Spencer Dinwiddie with fucking Dinwiddie, whatever his name is. He's a look at he took that team. He made them respectable when those guys weren't around. Yeah, I don't think they give him credit too. A lot of those guys love that guy. A lot of the players.
Sorry. I'm pretty sure Durant sucks because me and Kev had an argument like a dozen years ago, and we were trying to decide. It was like the day before the draft, and it was Lamar Odom or Kevin Durant, and I was totally team
Greg
Odom.
Oden. Greg Oden.
I was like, oh, Greg Odom. Let's say
Greg
Lamar
Oden,
Odom.
yeah.
Greg Odom. I'm like, oh, fuck that dude. He's ambidextrous. He's 7 foot. He's Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain reincarnated.
He's Greg Kite on
He's out of
steroids.
the league. Kevin Durant's a fucking Hall of Famer. So
That
I'm
was-
really
that was
good
the-
at predictions.
That was the original Celtics screw job. We were
Yeah.
supposed to get one of them. And I think Danny Ainge would have taken Durant in that. I think you said that, right?
Yeah, I remember, but I remember being so wrong on that. And Kev remembering
Yes.
it literally every draft for the next dozen years.
Yeah.
He has to fucking remind me of it.
Well,
Greg Odom, bitch.
Len Bias
I'm
was
still
the
team
ultimate
Odom.
screw job.
He could have done it.
No, I'm like, what were you saying?
I was saying Len Bias was really the ultimate screw job.
That was the worst.
And
That
Tim
was the
Duncan.
worst.
Don't forget about. We were supposed to have Tim Duncan. Those are our championships down in San Antonio. How the fuck
Reggie
we lost
Lewis.
that? Yeah, Reggie Lewis.
Reggie
also.
Lewis. Yep.
Yeah.
Reggie Lewis.
Patino really got screwed there, huh? Patino takes over this team and he's like, yeah, I'm going to win the lottery. I'm going to get Tim Duncan. No, you're not. You get the third pick.
The
I
negativity
just
in
saw that
this town
Patino
sucks.
is on the list. He's
I
like,
could never fucking even stand looking at Patino ever.
did you see? They had a Las Vegas odds on the coaches to take the job, and he's like 6th on the list. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Oh,
Yeah.
He was.
No, that was a joke. I saw that same list, dude, but the odds are like 1,600 to 1.
yeah.
Nobody thinks that's going to happen. They're the only ones where
So you're
Chauncey
saying there's a
Billups,
chance?
Stamkos. Yes. Yeah, so do you, dude. You have a chance.
I'm on board with the former player coach, as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion.
Yep.
It's
Like,
okay.
Not even that much recently removed, maybe a decade or I don't know.
So you're talking like a Jason Kidd, right?
Yep.
Like we were
That'd be
talking
good.
about earlier.
I don't
And
want Jason
Luke
Kidd.
Walton came up in a conversation I had earlier. I mean,
Jason-
some are good, some are bad.
Brian likes Chauncey Billups.
Listen, I'll
Chauncey
just tell you real
Billups.
quick.
Yeah.
I like Chauncey Billups for that job
I
because
love Chauncey
Okay.
Billups.
Luke Walton and Jason Kidd, yeah, they're not terrible young coaches, but have we not seen them be completely mediocre in a couple opportunities? Chauncey
Yeah.
Billups, he's never gotten a chance. Let that guy get a shot. He is an alpha dog leader. Tatum will listen to him. Tatum will respect him right away. I think
Yeah.
Billups is a great choice.
I like that.
Sold.
I do like
I'm
that.
sold.
Yeah, me too. I like that. I don't want Jason Kidd. Didn't he smash his wife in the face with a phone back in the playoffs?
Oh shit!
Probably.
Did he?
Nah,
Does he
yeah.
have a thing? Does he have like a history? I don't even know.
Yes.
Yeah, him and Wade, he was with
Yeah.
Wade Boggs.
Remember the fans were waving wife beaters in the crowd.
Yes, I kind of do. I remember it now, but I had
Yeah.
totally forgotten about
We
it.
do not condone domestic violence here. We don't want Jason Kidd. That's the bottom line. So he can eat it.
No, Chauncey Billups. I always loved him as a player, but I don't know much about
Listen,
him after
what is-
that. So I have
What
to
is
like
Chauncey
look it up.
Billups' nickname?
I don't know, CB.
I'm gonna get it
That's what
now.
I'd call him.
It's like hold on.
CBD.
I'm gonna get it right now.
Yeah,
It's-
CBD.
Sorry, it's a good one.
PD.
Definitely a good
He
one.
had a rough start in Boston.
He did.
Yeah, because
drafted-
did we
He
draft
was the
him
guy
same-
drafted in that Tim Duncan draft, right?
With,
Yeah, he got drafted.
Ron Mercer.
and his
Ron
rookie year
Mercer
Ron
was the
Mercer,
other one.
right.
Yeah, Ron Mercer and Chauncey Billups both
Mhm.
came in. You're
They
right.
took him out of
That was
one
a
game.
third
I
and a
also
sixth
saw
pick.
Jawan Howard. I also saw that name mentioned.
Jawan Howard.
Jawan
Oh,
Howard.
is
A lot of
he-
people.
is he? ho- Is he? Is he?
He did a
interested in
good job
coaching
with
now?
Michigan, but
Yeah,
I'll
he did.
coach at this point.
He did a
I'll
good,
coach
great job at Michigan. He's done a great job at Michigan so far. I think I've seen his name thrown around quite a bit.
He'd be
Absolutely.
respected enough by the players to sort of hit the categories you were talking about.
Yeah,
You
no
know,
doubt.
it's Jawan. I mean, he's not a Larry Bird or a Magic Johnson or whatever, but yeah, everyone knows his name in basketball. He might be able to command that respect.
Yeah, I just
Uh,
feel like it's a new day. It's a new age. Like the old school coach, and like I was listening to EI and they were talking about Popovich, where people think he's this old school hardcore coach, where he's really like that more with the media than with the actual team. And I think it's just a different game. You need to get a coach that's going to relate. And, everybody's an individual. You can't treat everybody as a group. I
Right.
feel everybody has to be treated individually.
How about
To an
Chauncey
extent.
Billups?
To an
Chauncey
extent.
Billups' nickname is Mr. Big Shot.
oh,
can't even-
Mr.
Yeah.
Big Shot. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
Also-
actually the coolest nickname. That's
What,
good.
also props to Robert Horry, who's underrated with his rings. He's got what, 7 or 8 or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. Between coaching and playing, he was Big Shot Bob. That's a good nickname. That's a cool nickname.
Robert Ory. Yeah.
Yep. But Mr. Big Shot with Chauncey Billups. I'll take it all day long.
Rings.
I'll take it all day long. He had his number retired, I think, by the Pistons.
He had
Brian,
a
I was
couple
gonna-
of
rough
Brian,
start.
beaters with the Pistons.
I was going to
Yeah.
ask you if you ever a Knicks fan at all.
No, I'll say this: when I was a kid, first liking basketball, I truly did like the Nets, and I did not like the Knicks. And actually, another team that I must say I liked when I was a kid was Orlando, because I liked
Yes.
Shaq
Yes.
and Penny. Like that, I was a
Penny.
kid and I loved Shaq and Penny. I thought they were so awesome. I was rooting for them. And they kind of broke my heart in the finals there. And what was that, like 95, I think? But
Well, yeah, we were talking about, and I brought it up because I was a Patrick Ewing fan
mhm.
growing up, and we were talking about just the heartbreak of the missed layup, I call it. Just disgusting.
Brutal. It
And
was against Indiana too, against like Reggie Miller and the Pacers, like cut their heart out at the Garden. I got to admit, I kind of love seeing it. Like Trey, like the fans last night, the fans were all giving him a standing ovation. Oh, the Knicks had such a good season. And then what does Trey Young do? He like drills a 3 from like 33 feet,
Oh,
and
we're gonna-
he just like takes a bow. He's like, "Yeah, y'all shut the fuck up."
I
here
love
in this
Trey
Garden."
Young.
I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Brian,
That's
you
good shit.
you said Shaq. Did you collect cards when you were a kid?
Yeah, I had a couple of Shaq cards. Sure. Oh yeah, wow, that's a great one. Yeah, look at that.
Graded. If that comes back graded a 10, it's like $1,000 right now.
Wow, no shit. I
Yeah.
swear, I actually feel like I either had that or saw it or held
I'm
it once.
saying, if you have old cards, man, go through them because they're blowing through the roof right now. If you get them graded, if you have them in good shape, man, you got a good shot. That's what
I think I might have a couple cards. I
Check 'em
I
out.
know I had a Shaq. Yeah, I
any
gotta
kind
go
of old
find them.
Jordans or anything like that. That's what I did to, I've been unemployed I broke my foot back in December. That's kind of why I've been doing all this. So
Yeah.
I kind of made it collecting cards pretty much, there's money to be made, but that's how this whole thing started. This is all supposed to be just about cards and, turning into sports, and then we just kept going.
Dude,
But
this is awesome. You guys are great. I mean, wait, you're based out of Worcester, is that right?
Worcester, Mass. Yep. Actually, I'm in Webster, but it derived in Worcester. We got to give a shout to that.
That's super cool. I was telling Kevin last night, I actually once was in a play at the Foothills Theater, if you ever remember
Yeah.
what that place was.
Yes. Very familiar.
It was a cool place in like kind of in a strip mall. And it was a nice, I actually saw a friend do a play there once, and I was lucky to do a play there once. And it was the time of my life, man. I can assure you that. It was an awesome time.
It's good to have. We love positive feedback, any kind of.
Hey,
you know what I mean? That's what we're doing it for.
Mike
Yeah.
Casello, can you hear me? It shut me off because I left the computer, let the dog in, and it says host must re-invite you or something.
This is Kevin's favorite part of the show, everybody. If you see him laughing right now, we spoke about this earlier.
Well, I got start video. What the fuck? You cannot start your video because the host has stopped it.
Grandpa Link.
Now fuck off, all of you. Fuck off.
There is. Jesus, Tom's fired up. I love it.
I just don't know why. It's like if I step away for 10 seconds, the fucking thing dies.
No, I shut you off because there was a blank seat.
Oh shit! Oh god! See, I forgot about. So all you were looking at was like what were you looking at? The green screen or the boxing ring?
Just the ring. We were waiting for you to get in it.
Gotcha. From now on, yeah. If I leave, I'll let you know. I'll hit stop video. Sorry about that, Brian. Sorry about that, Mike.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah,
good.
Sorry.
This is like Tom. This is like your 5-minute skit of the week. You got to do that every single week. Back on screen.
No, we're no longer beta. We are an alpha site. We can't keep being beta every fucking week.
Welcome to our alpha podcast. Also, Brian, our theme is Tom's legendary quote is anybody who hates Tim Tebow is a fucking prick.
What's your feelings on Tim Tebow, buddy?
Yeah, let's hear it. What do you think?
Because you know mine. Apparently, he just told you.
Do you like Tim Tebow?
Do I like him? I honestly just don't care about him. Like, I mean,
all right, that's better than
we're gonna need a judgment on that. We're gonna need a judgment.
I'm gonna have to. Well, I'm gonna believe me. Well, they'll be questioning.
If
I hate people who hate him.
No, I do not. I do not hate him. I
do you think he's gonna make the team?
You know what? In some ways, I think he is gonna make the team. Yeah.
If he makes the team, do you think it's because he's worthy of a spot? Do you think it's because his relationship with Urban Meyer, or I don't know what the third reason would be, but is it one of those two?
Right. Well, that's a tough thing because what? Because he's listed as a tight end, right? So what? He's going to literally be the 53rd guy on a roster. So a guy like Urban Meyer is looking at his team. It's a super young team. He's a first-year NFL head coach. He's going to say, you know what? Fuck it. I'll start the season with Tebow on the roster. Maybe he'll be an extension of me on the team. And we'll see what happens. Because look, in the NFL too, guess what? By week 2, he could have 3 guys that are hurt. And then guess what? Tebow's cut. We need to sign someone else.
Right.
Exactly. So, yeah. No, I'm on Brian's team. Give the guy a chance. If Urban Meyer is willing to give it a chance, it's not just a courtesy because they have the long relationship. I mean, that might be why he gives him a chance to make the 90-man roster and work his way down to 53. But he's not going to get on the 53-man roster unless he can fucking play. No one wastes a spot.
He's a good locker room guy. He's in incredible shape. He has skills. We already talked about. He's like top 5 best college player of all time. Also, the guy's got a great attitude. He works hard, and it's not only just tight end. Like people get tight end in their head, and they think he's just running down the middle, trying to be Gronk, but no, he also is a fullback. That guy coming through the middle at the 1-yard line. Look, I made this speech back when the Patriots signed him. I said, "You kidding me? Send that guy through the middle. Don't have Tom Brady do any more fucking sneaks."
This was a move. This was a move he should have made, or they should have made early on in his career.
Yes, I agree. If this was 5 years ago, and honestly, when I heard he was going to Jacksonville, I thought fullback in my mind before everyone said tight end. And I had to reread it like 3 times to make sure. I'm like, seriously? Like a pass catching tight end, a blocking tight end?
Fullback.
Yeah, I wanted him to be a fullback like 5 years ago. Right now, it's hard to tell if he can even cut it.
He took the Broncos to the playoffs as a quarterback. I give him this credit right there. He managed the game. He can't throw.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But whatever. And you guys are forgetting he's connected to Jesus. I mean, that's a factor right there. Bingo. I don't
It's
know.
one of his
I don't
sons,
think Jesus must
right?
be
I
watching the
guess.
games though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, Jesus doesn't know shit about 2nd and 9
Yeah. You can have
because he
Gatorade.
can't do shit.
See,
can have
therein
Gatorade,
lies
he's
the
drinking
thing,
Jesus.
guys. That's actually funny that I was thinking when you were saying fullback, tight end. Right. He's not going to go out there and be in Gronk, but that might be where he truly gets exposed, where they're like, yo, we got to get rid of him, is when he's blocking. Because like
Yes,
a
is he a
defensive
block-
lineman
Really?
rushing is going to take Tebow and fucking throw him off like
Bro,
nothing.
right
Or,
now,
we'll
or
see.
if Tebow
We'll
holds
see.
his ground, then you're going to be like, holy
I
shit,
gotta
Tebow
tell-
can block.
I gotta tell you, Tebow, one of the things that impressed me while he was in the NFL, like when everyone was talking about, is he gonna make it or not? And obviously he didn't. He got cut and he's gone. But dude, that guy's legs were like those rugby players or like the Tour de France bicycle racers. Like literally, they're twice the size, his thighs, of
Incredible.
anybody else's. So he must be able to do something out there, I would
But I
think.
mean, before
know.
this year, the Pats had fucking Izzo and shit, and like I was.
That's
fucking,
right, Izzo.
My mind was blown. I would have taken the janitor at Gillette over fucking some of these tight ends.
Are you guys overall pretty happy with the many moves BB has made this year?
No.
No. Yeah, no, I'm a no on that. I'm a
Wow,
no.
what you guys are not? You're not. I mean, because he spent a lot of money. Because I mean, getting those two tight ends is not a
okay.
bad idea.
All right. What you asked was, am I happy with the moves? And I probably answered to a different question was, am I happy with the state of the Patriots right now? Which I'm not. The moves themselves, okay. Yeah, I don't have too much to bitch about. I imagine they're doing what they can do. But I feel more pessimistic about the Patriots this season than I have maybe in a while. Like since the Matt Cassell year when Brady got his leg broke. I don't really know what to look for. But as a non-Patriots fan, it's almost more interesting. What do you think about our team? Do we look at all threatening or not? I don't know.
Well, Kevin and I were actually speaking a little about this last night.
What's your football stance again? What team? You said Washington or?
No,
Raiders.
so in football, I'm about the Raiders. I'm about the Raiders.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. Gee
froze me.
whiz.
No,
Can
that's
never get
it.
away.
You froze
I mean,
me.
everything's New York, but the Raiders. The Raiders
compare
are
it to
bigger
video
than New
games.
York and
I
all
don't-
that stuff.
I would never use the Raiders in Madden. That's the only reason I had to freeze there because I just had to think of who. I love Derek Carr. Weren't they talking about Rodgers going there for a little bit?
Talk about everybody going there, but
True,
Carr's
yeah,
the
good
guy.
call. Good call.
Carr's the guy. It's
I
not
was
his.
my-
It's not his
I
fault.
was a Raiders fan when Marshawn Lynch was there.
Mm-hmm.
I love Marshawn Lynch. Beast mode all day long. I think he's great.
Well,
So-
I think Carr gets hated on too much. Like, from what I've seen, like he's a decent quarterback, and
He is.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
not bad. Are you a fantasy guy?
Sure.
Yeah. I think Carr, I plugged him in a few times this year. He was good. So
Well, the guy
that's
you
all right.
want is Waller. Waller is the guy you want.
Waller is an animal. An
Yeah.
Beast.
animal.
He's going to be he was the number one tight end last year, and this year he'll be drafted as the number one tight end. Watch.
Who was the Kyle Pitts? Was he the number one tight end this year? That's who they compared him to, is Darren Waller. And I think he was what, top 5 or something this year?
Yeah,
From
he was.
Florida.
Yeah, he was like top. Yeah, 4, maybe 4 overall.
Yeah.
That Pitts will be a nice guy to maybe. I mean, he's not going to be too much of a sleeper, but he could actually be a good guy to get as your tight end, maybe in the 6th, 7th round, something like that.
Yeah, no doubt. No
But
doubt.
no, but back to the Patriots.
Yeah.
I still have the utmost respect for them, definitely, and I think they made some good moves. I think Belichick definitely underestimated. Yeah, he lost Brady. He's thinking, whatever, I'll still piece it together. I'm still going to win. And then after a couple games, he was like, yeah, this shit is not going to work. And Cam can do some things well. He's always going to be like kind of injury prone moving forward. The guy takes brutal punishment. He's not going to last 16, 17 games. So I think you guys sat tight. Everybody kept saying, "Oh, they're gonna trade, they're gonna trade, they're gonna trade, they're gonna trade." You sat tight, and you still got Mac Jones.
Oh, believe me, man. That was. I think we were live streaming that. Were we, Mike and
Yeah,
Kevin?
we did. We
Yeah.
were, yeah.
Oh man, we
love
were
it.
so afraid that he was going to trade that. Seriously, the 14th pick is made, and I'm like having a heart attack. He's going to trade it for a 3rd rounder and an outside linebacker from Nebraska State or some motherfucker no one's ever heard of.
We
And he actually pulled in Mac Jones. So I guess overall, I'm happy with their moves. But again, I'm not nearly as comfortable as I would have been with the Patriots, 2, 3, 4 years ago, for obvious reasons. The team has changed.
And also, like what we talked about, for the first time in a long, long time, you now got the Bills are legit.
They're decent.
The Bills
They're
are a
actually
real
decent.
deal team now.
And
And
the Dolphins,
are
better.
not bad.
The Dolphins are getting better. Yeah,
Right.
the Dolphins are definitely getting better. You're
The
right.
Jets have
So,
a great young
real
quarterback
quick.
now too.
Real quick, I had a quick question. Is Bill sticking around for Shula's record? Opinion.
Yes,
Yeah, I say he is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nope.
absolutely. Take
Well,
him
He's
4 years.
37.
Yeah,
He's
that's 2
37.
shots
He's
a year ago.
37 away.
That's 2 shots Diego. We got 2 bets right there. I think he's gone. I think actually I fully believe that Mac Jones was Josh's pick. McDaniels. I believe, why would he keep Cam for 1 more year? I think he really believes. Listen, my stance on Cam is I love his attitude right now. I was really shocked about how he went about things, and he was perfect. He was, other than his play last year, everything else.
Yeah, everything but him playing was awesome.
The
He
only
was
thing
fucking
that makes
great.
it-
His
the
hats were
only thing that-
fantastic.
The only thing that's going to make it different, I think, is because they actually have mentioned that they changed his mechanics. Now, I mean, 16 years into the league, of however the hell long he's been in,
Right.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But I think they did. They molded it around Cam. I like the tight end moves. I just hope they did something with his arm. Like how those guys need to get the ball. Hunter Henry's good down the field. Johnny's good too.
Let me tell you how devious Belichick is and how much he thinks ahead. Okay, at the end of the season last year, the last 2 games, once they were eliminated from the playoffs, everybody's like, "Why is Cam Newton still in? Why aren't they starting Stidham? What's the point of keeping Cam Newton?" Well, you know what he was thinking? What he was thinking was he knew exactly when free agency was, and he knew when the draft was, which was 2 months later, and he knew that he had to have, in order to, if they had a lot of money, they had a ton of cap room, and the plan was to go out on a spending splurge. But you can't go out and do that and get those guys to sign up to play with Stidham. And the draft wasn't for 2 months. So you had to have a solid enough veteran that these guys would want to sign with. So he played Cam Newton in those last 2 games just because he knew it would make him a lot, by showing Cam Newton that kind of commitment, it would make Cam Newton that much more willing to sign up with them again. So Cam Newton comes back with them and re-signs in February at basically another minimum level contract, 1-year thing. He parlays that into signing some of the top offensive free agents available, and then he still drafts Mac Jones. So he's got Cam Newton for nothing. He's signed all those players, and he's only got Cam Newton for a year. So if Cam Newton leaves, then now Mac Jones has had a year of training. It's really well thought out. Yeah.
I think so
There
too.
are some things he hasn't figured out, but there are sometimes he's way ahead of everybody.
So
It's
Mike,
better about Max starting.
Mike, to your point, do you think this was more him built, or like you said, whose pick it was, but you think it was more setting up the team for the future, or
Yeah,
at least attempting to?
I think Josh McDaniels takes the team over next year. I think. I mean, actually, either way, if they go 4-12, I think he's gone. If they win the Super Bowl, he's gone. Either way, I believe he's not going to try to compete with Brady every year if they can't get it done this year. I mean, the team Brady has on paper, you shouldn't even use in Madden. You shouldn't even feel like a man using that team. That is incredible. Really, I mean, they lost nothing. They added. If we got Julio Jones, now we're into something. I think.
But don't forget though. Now look, and I know the Bucks are stacked and they're gonna be really, really good, obviously. But don't forget, they were a 5 seed. They went on the road the whole time. They got hot at the right time. The Saints were beating the shit out of them in the
Hey,
first half
hey.
into the second half in that game.
You're talking
They-
to 4 guys who watched Tom Brady get hot at the exact right time for 20 years. He's not gonna. It's not gonna change.
Well,
There's-
no, but
let Brian
the
finish.
Patriots
I
team,
want Brian to finish that analogy because
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not even sure what season you're talking about. Brian, what season are you talking about?
wait a minute, but listen, the Patriots teams that you guys won championships with, most of those were really, really good teams, number 1 seeds, top teams that Brady was winning Super Bowls with.
But no
That
stars.
Bucs team was a 5 seed wild card that got hot at the right time. I'm not saying it's not a fluke. They deserved to win that championship, but a lot of things had to go right. The Packers fucking shit their pants in that championship game.
Oh, okay. All right.
We
That
made
I actually do
Westfalker.
remember. And I do
Deion
agree
Branch
with,
was
I
a
guess.
nobody. We made Wes Welker. He made Julian Edelman. I guess Gronk.
No, that was a good call, though.
I mean, we never had stars. Randy Moss 1 year. I don't even want to talk about that. That might be banned.
Gaffney,
No.
Jamal Gaffney.
Bob Gaffney was a nobody, and we won a championship. David Givens was a nobody.
But Troy Brown,
Troy Brown was a
Fuck
nobody.
yeah.
Troy Brown is top 3 favorite Patriots of all time for me.
he was a
Absolutely.
great player.
Me
He was
too,
a
me
great
too.
player.
Troy Brown first, Wes Welker, and then Edelman. They were basically the same players.
Edelman was a college quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Edelman is
Hell,
incredible.
fucking
He got
Amendola saved our ass in at least 2
Amendola.
series
Yeah.
where he kept the game going or the series going.
In the
with a
Super Bowl
touchdown
against
or-
Atlanta. Didn't
Yes,
he have a
exa-
huge
yeah, that was a
two-point conversion?
huge one. But he had other ones where he would like keep us alive to get us like just with the first down.
Jermaine,
man, we had a-
Jermaine Wiggins.
he's
Ah,
black.
Snowball.
shit. Jermaine
Jermaine
Wiggins, he had a couple
Wiggy.
catches in the goddamn tuck rule game.
The
That's
fucking
right.
Wiggy.
Yeah, they had 10, 11
Wiggy.
catches in that game.
And Antoine Smith had a couple of big runs.
Fuck yeah. And he was a beast, man. Antoine Smith, he was
He
for
was a
a few
beast.
years. We loved that
Monster.
guy.
Yep,
But
monster.
it's amazing. You know, it's so different in football than, all right, I'm going to compare it to baseball because basketball is sort of like football now. But yeah, like these guys, they only show up for 2, 3, 4-year contracts, but have this huge impact. So you remember them, but then you move on to the next guy. You know what I mean? You're always on to the next guy.
Well, people
There's, like,
forget
especially
that,
with
you know,
running
with these-
backs and
these
receivers.
players-
Like
these
you
players
never
that play
really.
a long time in the NFL. The average NFL career is like
Oh,
3 to
it's-
4 years. Don't quote me, but
It
not
probably
long.
is. No, you're probably right, Mike. You're probably right.
Yeah, it's just the
especially for like
nature
a
of
running back. Like look at Terrell Davis, who was a fucking monster, but at the height of your game, it only lasts so long in positions like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And we I guess we hit gold on some of them and some we didn't. I mean, we had Ocho Cinco. Remember that?
Well, yeah, but the
You
defense,
remember
the
fucking
defense is
that?
back
But we
then.
only have him for 2 years. I can't even remember. Was it 1 or 2? But like, yeah, it's such a.
We had Aaron Hernandez. We had Gronk and Aaron. That
I will shoot you if you mention Aaron Hernandez.
that's fine. That's fine. But
That's how we do it up here in New England.
I
We,
don't even
every
care.
time someone says Aaron Hernandez,
Dude,
someone
and
has to
Hernandez
fire a
was
weapon.
such a good fucking player for you, man. It's like, dude, why did you have to go murder a bunch of people, man? What the fuck?
Seriously.
Yeah,
The
he
fuck?
played
Like,
the
bro,
whole
you
season.
could have just been an awesome player for the Patriots and been winning Super Bowls left and right. You really got to go out and like murder people? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Doesn't
Yeah,
make
he-
any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
That
no.
team, it's a tri-hole. That's one of my favorite Patriot teams ever. When they had the double tight end, which is what they're going with now.
That's right.
But Gronk and Hernandez, I mean, that was incredible. Whatever.
Back then
Now-
was the defenses were Big Willie Style, McGinnis,
Yeah.
Ty
Oh
Law,
man,
Lawyer
yeah,
Malone.
Willie McGinnis, put it up for
Brewski.
Willie McGinnis. I
For
love
Slade,
that fucking
Brewski.
guy.
He's in my
Teddy
top three.
Brewski.
Hey, don't forget your boy Mike Vrabel. That guy was
All
a
day
big time
long.
player.
Yep.
Ted Johnson.
What do you have? Like 11
Ed
catches,
Johnson,
and a
for
touchdown,
God's
and 11
sake.
TDs.
Dude, I feel like every time there was a big play to be made, Vrabel was around the ball. Like he was always making big plays. So how about your boy Jarvis Green? Dude, that guy would pass rush on third down.
Yeah.
Look,
Unreal.
Belichick knows how to dial it up. And that's what Kevin and I were talking a little last night.
Vrabel threw a couple touchdowns.
He caught him as like, did he
caught him,
throw
yeah,
him
he
too?
caught him.
Yeah,
On 11.
I believe Vrabel never had like that they every time they targeted him, he caught it, and like 5 out of the
Yeah.
7 times he got a touchdown or something like
It was
that.
11.
Did he
11.
actually
I keep
throw
saying
one? I
11.
don't know. But he
Wow.
had some ridiculous, like they would use him on offense all of a sudden, and he would get a touchdown virtually every time. A small
I don't want
number
to
of
cause a foul
touchdowns.
here, but I'm pretty sure that Vrabel will end up being a better tight end than Tebow.
Wow.
Oh,
come on,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah,
Unreal.
absolutely.
Unreal.
Oh, but I mean, 5 years ago, maybe Tebow could have become a Vrabel. Like I said, I'm not optimistic about his chances right now, Tebow. I know we're back to that. But 5 years ago, why in the fuck not? He's probably just as athletic and a big fucking dude and knows football inside and out. But yeah, Vrabel was one of those weird guys that, I mean, you never saw defensive guys, all of a sudden play on offense as consistently as he did in like key games, playoff games. They would use it.
William Perry.
Oh, the fridge. Oh, fuck
Fridge.
that play. That play was sucked. That play sucked balls. That was fucking bullshit.
Squish the
That
fish.
It was one play. They used him all year. He was
No,
their short
oh,
yardage
is it
running back.
fucking one? Fuck you. I'm not gonna.
Did the
God,
Patriots
sweet.
ever use like Will Fork in at fullback? They
No.
never did that.
I don't know.
No.
I wish we
No.
did.
Air
Did we
Vince,
ever?
baby. I love Air Vince. He's up there.
You
too,
imagine
by the way.
that? Brady hands it off to Will Fork and he's
They used
diving
him as
over
a
the-
tight end a couple
He
of
just
times.
like
Just a block.
body slams the entire line and just land like all 340 pounds of him, just
Vince-
crush them. No, I don't know.
Vince-
They were great times because we had no business beating, the Rams.
Oh no,
in
we
my-
didn't. No,
in-
man. That was honestly of all the Super Bowls the Patriots have won, that Rams one and the Atlanta one. Those two I will never forget. I remember all of them. I watched all of them, but the first one, especially against the Rams, when fucking shitbag fucking Mouthy was telling us to punt. Who the fuck was that? Was it John Madden?
John Madden.
Like, yeah. I got a kneel on this one.
Oh, and I met
Fuck off.
I met Adam Vinatieri, who's a fucking douchebag, by the way.
No
I believe
shit.
it.
Was
I
he?
believe it.
Was he?
Yeah.
Where'd you meet him? Yeah, let's hear the story.
Well, so it was after the first Super Bowl win. It was at the Greendale Mall. It was a signing with Troy Brown and Adam Vinatieri. So you had to buy either like, a fucking 8x12 or whatever it was. It was like $35, and then you go up, wait fucking hours in line, and all I wanted was a picture. And he fucking just wouldn't. It was basically me with him with his fucking head down, like couldn't be bothered, like he was fucking aggravated. And it would just turn me off like immediately.
So we got some
Okay,
Vrabel
that
stats here.
sounds very troubling. I'm glad you survived that incident. It sounds like it was
I,
traumatic
re-
for
I
you.
regret picking him because you had your choice between him and Troy Brown.
Oh, all right, I gotcha.
So we got some actual Vrabel stats here. We got 14 career targets, 10 career receptions, all for touchdowns.
10 touchdowns out of 14 targets.
Look,
Yep.
How
he has-
fucking crazy is that? That's just the weirdest stat.
he
all
caught one-
credit in the
he-
world goes to Vrabel. But
Number 7 on the NFL Network of most versatile players ever. That's an accolade. He had he caught one in 2004.
Brian, what were you gonna say, Brian?
No,
you were gonna
just-
fill in.
just the funny thing that you're saying, right? He's 10. He's got 10 catches for 10 touchdowns, 10 out of 14. When you're playing against the Patriots and you're on defense and you see Vrabel's in the game, do you think maybe one guy would be like,
No
he's throwing
shit!
it to fucking
I remember-
Vrabel?
Dude, I remember saying that after like his third or fourth. I'm like, dude, obviously the only reason this linebacker is in here as fullback, tight end, wide, whoever they fucking lined him up is because they're gonna go to him.
I mean,
I remember singing that, and apparently they did it 10 times. I thought it was 6 or 7, but 10? That's
I'm
fucking
saying
ridiculous.
somebody on the line, some linebacker, you
Yeah,
don't just
didn't
put
notice
your
it,
hand
be
right
like,
in his face, right off the break.
Vrabel. Yeah,
But-
I don't know how that happened.
Maybe it's easier said than done. I don't know. I never played defense in the NFL, but
He had
Well, he would
57
go out on a lot
sacks
of-
and
I
lot of
played
times
very
he just walked.
briefly. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Nor have I.
19 forced fumbles in his career. He's got
Big
11
time player.
interceptions, 57 sacks.
Yeah, I mean, he was a dominant. Dominant might be too much. He wasn't Lawrence Taylor, but he was a solid linebacker that you wanted on your team, definitely.
He was a playmaker.
And the fact that
That's
they were,
right.
yeah, he's a playmaker.
Playmaker.
So the fact
When he
that
was
they
in the
were able to,
game, that's a guy you knew was going to make how many clutch plays did he make in strip sacks at the end?
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. He was always in the middle of a big play. And what? The Pittsburgh drafted him and just cut him or something. And
Yeah.
Belichick signed him dirt cheap, just sign a guy, Mike Rabel, whatever.
Yeah.
And then he emerged into this big time crucial part of that championship defense.
Yep. I mean, think about those teams too. We had Rabel, Bruschi, and Ted Johnson. Ted Johnson was a beast too in the middle there. But I mean, a lot of those teams.
Well, you brought in that guy,
a lot.
Roosevelt Colvin was an okay
Yes,
pass rusher.
yes.
Roosevelt Colvin, yeah. Yeah, I
Rosie
remember he was a big
fantastic.
signing. We didn't
Yeah.
draft him, I don't think. I think
Right,
we
no, you
signed
signed him from the
Chicago.
Bears, maybe.
Or
Yeah, he
something.
came from Chicago. He had a great year too. The year before, he was a big free agent too. That,
Oh yeah.
Richard Seymour.
Oh, Seymour, you drafted him and then
Yes.
dumped him on us in a robbery. That was a genius move by Belichick.
my prank call history goes to Richard Seymour too. I remember one time there was like something on EEI. They put his number out there, and it was like the chance to talk to Richard Seymour. I called it like 2,000 times, never got through. So that was a failure. But I remember the answer machine was like, "You reached Big Dick Seymour." I swear to God, that's what it said, and it was like, okay, but never got through. I did get through to some people though.
Who didn't you call at fucking 2:33 in the morning?
Listen, I mean, I'm trying to find all these people now and apologize. This is the apologizing tour. That's how I ended up with Peter McNeely. You know Peter, right?
Yeah. I saw a little bit that you had him on. He fought Tyson. Yeah.
No, it's amazing, dude. He's such a good dude, like so down to earth, man. And it was amazing. The story, I don't know if you checked out the first podcast we did. I told the story. I prank called him with my friends back in high school, and I apologized to him 20 years later on Facebook. And we've been talking ever since, you know.
That's so cool.
Yeah, he is so down to earth. He's such a cool dude, man. I thank him again for helping us out too. A lot of people watch that episode, but we'll have him on again, man. We'll have to have him on. He has a blast.
I'd like to get together with him in real life, dude. That'd be cool.
I think everyone would, but he's
Hey, Brian.
Hurricane is on he's royalty, man. A lot of people
Brian,
respect him.
Brian, I'd like to ask you, because you're not from Massachusetts. Did you know the name Peter McNeely before you saw that? Like, did it still ring a bell with you from that Tyson fight? I know you're probably of a different generation than me. I don't know how well known he is.
I remember watching every minute of that fight with my dad.
All two of them. Okay. Okay, great.
Wait a minute. What 2 minutes? Yeah, listen. And I was.
Oh,
I was
all right.
rooting
That's
like
cool,
hell for
man. No,
McNeely.
I didn't know. Like,
Yeah,
I've asked
yeah.
Mike, I've asked Kevin, I've asked my friends and family. Like, I remember it, but I don't know who else does. But you do. You definitely remember it. Okay.
Definitely, he was wearing the green trunks, and he
Yes!
shot out like a bat out of hell. He was
Yeah.
swinging at Tyson, and within like 12 seconds, he was down.
Yeah, he
Oh.
tripped over his own feet. I don't want to
Right,
hear
right.
that shit.
A lot of the Tyson fights.
But okay,
A lot
that's
of the
cool that you
Tyson fights,
actually
you let the-
remember that.
You let the kids stay up because they can still get to bed before their bedtime.
Well, I
Yeah.
wouldn't, but that was like, was that Tyson's first fight out of jail or something? I
Yes,
think.
Yeah.
that's what it was. And there was all this big conjecture, like, I don't know who the contenders were then, like Lennox Lewis or some of those guys. And
Mhm.
everyone knew he wasn't going to fight one of them. He was going to fight somebody as a warm up. And when
Yeah.
they picked a guy from fucking Medfield, Massachusetts, which is in like within 30 minutes of all of our houses, or
Yeah.
at least all of us who live in Worcester and shit, people flip the shit out. So like, but I didn't know if like people anywhere else gave a fuck, because it was a warm up fight. But it's considered a good fight. He charged out
You don't
there
think,
and he hit
so
like
you
a
don't think
hammer.
anyone else in
man.
the world gave a fuck about Tyson getting out of jail and killing someone? That's crazy talk. Everyone knew, like everyone was watching that fight. The entire world's eyes were on that fight, like the O.J. Simpson trial.
Huge.
But yeah,
It was huge.
Peter McNeely, Yeah, you can walk anywhere and people know his name. He's like.
I've tried, man. I've asked some pretty good sports fans, and they always give me the same look. Like, I know the name, but until I tell them, like I just say Peter McNeely, until I tell them boxing, 1990s, it rarely registers with them unless they're in Massachusetts. I mentioned Peter McNeely, and they're like, "Oh fuck yeah, I watched that fight at the Blarney Stone. I got hammered." You know what I mean? It's like a totally like it was like I don't know. To me,
Yeah,
He was on
I
the
always
Pizza
get.
Hut commercial.
Oh, yeah, when he fought the Irish dude. The Irish dude, they always say.
He
Yeah,
was
oh, yeah.
great in the pregame hype to that. I remember, like
Yes,
he was like
yes,
like he was almost like a bad guy wrestler, like a heel.
Yes,
He
yes,
was really
yeah.
talking a lot of shit
Well,
to Tyson.
I think actually they tried to portray him. That my look back on it was they almost tried to portray him like Rocky. Like
they did, and they even
huge
had like a
underdog.
stare down. Didn't they have a stare down?
They had
at
a
the
stare down.
thing
They had
that was
they
almost
had,
right out of the movie, almost like
yeah,
it was scripted. Yeah.
Hurricane's speech, before the fight itself, and fucking, I think they really tried to make it like that. If he ever won, that would have been Rocky Balboa from Worcester. Honestly, I mean, from Medfield, that's what that. And are you kidding me? What would his next fight have been? Like if he ever found a way to win that fight?
Yeah, like
that
Lennox
would have been
Lewis.
a monster, bro. Are you kidding me? That's real life Rocky against Apollo Creed. That like that.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, Kev brought up to me, and I'm a little older than you, Mike, but you remember the Jerry Cooney versus like I don't know, maybe Thomas Hearns fight or whatever. There was a Jerry Cooney thing where they really made it sort of the same thing as Rocky at the same time.
Idea, yeah.
I don't know if it was Thomas Hearns who was fighting, maybe it was Larry Holmes, one of those big dudes.
Cooney was the Great White Hope. That's what they used to call
Great
those.
White Hope.
Oh,
back
that's
then.
right. You're right. I forgot.
Larry
about
Bird was a Great White Hope. I don't know, but we got.
All right. Now we're all lost in boxing. So anything else up you guys want to talk about sports related?
Well, actually, just quickly on boxing, is there really a big fight? Is Mayweather fighting this weekend?
I think
no.
it's coming soon. Yeah, he might
Against
be,
like some
actually, you're
dude.
right.
This this
Logan
white
Paul.
guy like Paul
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul, right?
Jake Paul.
And
Right.
is he gonna but
he's
Mayweather
fighting-
doesn't knock anybody out. Is Mayweather gonna just dance with him for 10 rounds and win the decision?
Mayweather is going to beat the living fuck out of this guy.
No decision.
That's my prediction.
There's no
Because
decision.
this guy is, according to Peter McNeely, he's a novice, he's an amateur, he's an MMA fighter. He doesn't have the skills to stay in the ring with a guy like Floyd Mayweather. Most humans don't. I mean,
Right.
obviously, he's a very strong guy, a very good fighter. You wouldn't want to fight him. I wouldn't want to fight him. But Peter McNeely, you guys could back me up on this. He's like, I don't even want to talk about it. It's not even a fight. He thinks that that Mayweather, even though he's a defensive fighter, could probably punch 10 times to 1. You know what I
only
mean?
thing is,
He could
though,
probably
this
hit that
kid
guy
is like-
10 times before the guy can get one off. You know?
This
But
kid is like
you guys
he's
tell
like
me.
6'2". He's
Okay.
6'2", 200 plus pounds.
I'm on Team Paul. I'm on Team
you
Paul.
think
I
he'll
hope-
win? You think he'll win?
I hope he catches a phantom punch. I want to see Mayweather get buried. I'm so
What I'm
tired of
saying
seeing
is
that
he-
dude on a plane laying on a bed of money. I'm tired
Right.
of seeing his bets. I'm tired of him coming back out of retirement and fighting nobodies. I'm tired of it. Somebody just
All I'm
knock him
saying
out.
is
I hope-
Mayweather's given up. Mayweather's given up. I don't know how many inches of height and probably
Reach and
And
win.
he's old too.
at least 60 pounds by the time the fight starts.
They put out the rules, and I don't even think there's judges. There's all sorts of rules. They're not using the right gloves, which is what Peter was talking about the other day. He won't even address it unless it's, I think, the 8-ounce gloves, but they're using 12, I think. Also, there's no judges. There's something to do with TKOs or something. It's not a real boxing match. It's like a spar,
No.
pretty much. You know what I mean? But I
Yeah.
hope he pulls the glove off and just fucking knocks Mayweather out for the publicity. I don't give a fuck. Cheat. Do something like Tyson. Fight him. I don't give a fuck.
I'm surprised McGregor never tried to pull that shit with him.
That,
Yeah,
that's what's
good
coming
call.
next.
That would be
you're
a
right, you're
fucking
right.
cash grab right there. That would be a nice little
Well,
cash
this
grab
whole
right
thing
there. They
started-
could make some money off that. People love McGregor and they
This whole
love the
thing started-
Pauls.
He called out Conor McGregor to start this whole thing. You know,
Oh,
it was when I think maybe that's when that fight went down, when the Mayweather Paul fight. I mean, the Mayweather McGregor fight. After that, I think one of the Pauls tried to get him to come out, but they kept taunting him. Like, and he said he just laughed it off. I don't even think he responded, which is rare for Conor. I'm not a Conor fan anymore since he punched the old dude.
Right.
I gave it up after
That was fucked up.
don't
It's like,
respect
dude,
him.
you don't need
Dude,
to do that.
He was
Like,
my
come on.
profile picture on Facebook a few times. I love the dude at every fight
Yeah.
he was ever in. When I seen that, there was no need for that. It was so bad, you know. But
Yep.
whatever. I we'll see. I bet you they're gonna make a ton of money off this fight. And McGregor, I don't. He would probably be next. I wouldn't even doubt that. You know. We'll see. We'll see. The other Paul brother signed up to fight Tyron Woodley. So, and I think that's kind of like a spot. He's Tyron Woodley from the UFC.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, that's a name that I'm not even gonna pretend to recognize.
he's a big
So
one.
he's a UFC fighter, like
He's a
MMA.
big one.
Is he like one of those? He fights all the different styles and all that
Yes.
shit.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know. I don't watch
mean,
that shit.
that's what people. I mean, at least it's boxing, and I don't want to see any more of the UFC against boxers. It's just not, unless they do it reverse and show a boxer actually go in the UFC ring. I'm not interested in it because who cares? Of course, you're good or better at boxing. You know what I mean? Ben Askren, what a loser! That guy, he couldn't Masvidal knocked him out in 3 seconds with that kick, and then he got dropped by the Paul brother. So I'm tired of the UFC versus boxing. At least Paul's put themselves off as boxers, so let's see him drop Mayweather.
All right.
I want to see it. It's not going to happen, but I want to see it. He's got too much
All
money.
right.
I don't know.
Any of you guys got any more sports related tidbits you want to throw out there to chew on before we wrap this up?
Go Bees.
Yeah, go be.
Well, yeah, what's going on? Bruins playing right now. Actually, I haven't.
Oh shit, they are. Fuck.
What's
Yeah.
That looks like that could be a 7-game series right there against the Isles.
You guys ever score? Kev, do you ever score? I don't have enough.
actually forgot they were on. I'm glad he just said that shit.
Yeah, I
I'm just
usually
talking
pull it
about an
up.
hour and a half, but I-
1-0 Bruins. We're in the second period, 13-27. left.
Okay.
So yeah, we're on the
I'm gonna
right
put
path.
that on.
Hey, I like. I want the Bruins to keep going, but if the playoffs keep going, I can't get PJ Stock. Man, he's busy with all that. But I guess I'll root for him. I guess I'll root for him. You
Hey, is
PJ
that
Stock
bar-
is-
Is there a bar called Greendale's still around
Yes.
Worcester?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Live music.
I played a couple gigs there actually.
I figured. Yeah, they're still around, man. They're one of the strongest bars in the city, but that's like the only place up there. Well, not the only place.
No shit.
Good place.
Oh,
Good
man.
people, too.
You,
Well, no,
you,
Smitty's Tavern and Arts.
Yep. Greendale's Pub. They got a shout. So
They got
Mm.
Taco
Good,
Mondays at Greendale's.
Ooh.
yeah.
Damn, I gotta make myself up there sometime.
Yeah, well,
So
I
when-
get
when-
together,
when
Maybe
were
for
you at
Yankee
Green?
socks next time around.
When were you at Greendale's, Brian? When did you perform there?
This
What
was
year, roughly?
it was like 2009, 2010.
Okay, I was already out of town, but I had been to Greendale's not many times, but more than a handful. I
Mhm.
can't remember why, but there was something about Greendale's that
Cool-
like
cool
somebody
sports
I
pub
knew
there,
like
yeah.
hung out there or something, and I would go. And Kevin Lenahan, he told me, he's like, oh, he played it. He was a musician at one of these bars, and I'm trying to think how cool would it be if it was one of the bars I was at. But no, you would have been a couple years after me, like just being a patron, of course. But that's cool. You've been to Worcester. Most people have never heard of it. They say Worcester, Massachusetts. So like from Boston.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, fuck
That's
you. I'm from
bullshit.
I
Boston.
know.
Pretend I'm from Boston.
Hey, fuck
You
Charlotte.
asshole.
People have heard of Worcester. Fuck Charlotte or North Carolina, wherever you're
I
from.
know.
Fuck you.
Well, I know, but
Hey.
What's
nobody.
your area code? 336 or some bullshit like that.
Yeah,
By the
I
way,
know.
man, fuck.
How
But-
do they not know? How do they not know Worcester? I've known for the longest time. One of the Dead's most
don't
famous
listen to
shows
him.
was at the
Don't listen to
Central.
him.
The
Don't
Yes,
Central.
listen to
and
him.
some
They-
people don't even fucking recognize it. It's so crazy.
Which people? The same people that don't know who Peter McNeely is? Who the
Yes,
fuck are you
yes,
around, bro?
yes.
Why-
People
Jesus
in North
Christ.
Carolina.
Look at
Those
that
are the people. They don't know fucking shit, apparently.
Tom's
But
gone.
Dom has been the first one deleted from the show. I can't, but no, we're gonna wrap it up anyway.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey, listen, guys. Thank you so much for having me on. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Brian,
hope
it was
to
great
do it
to
again
meet you.
sometime.
Brian, we appreciate you. come back.
Thank you, guys.
We do this every Thursday night. We throw a few extras in there, but you're more than welcome, man. That was awesome. We were hoping for an asshole, so you disappointed us tonight. But hey, you had a lot of great input, man. I respect all your opinions, everything about the Nets, everything. They're pretty real guy. So
Thanks, man. Thanks.
That was a pleasure.
Listen, if the Red Sox beat up on the Yankees this weekend, I'll be in a real shit mood. So then I'll come on and be an asshole.
Yes, absolutely. We'll let Tom back in for that one.
We'll have to wrap up what happens this weekend.
I like it.
All right,
Hey, man,
guys.
thank you again.
Thanks,
Have a great
Brian.
night, brother.
Have a good one, fellas. Thanks.
Take care.
Kev, thank you very much.
Thank
We
you, Mike and Mike.
appreciate you. Hey, thank you for linking us up with him, man. That was awesome. That was perfect.
Yeah, he's a good dude. So feel
Yep.
free to have him back. I mean, I
And
think,
the other
I
guy,
think he makes
too.
a good guest.
Yeah.
You got to get
the
his
other
friend
guy,
Chris
too.
on. He's a Detroit fan.
Yep. Yep. Kev, thank you very much. Have a good night.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you. Michael,
Deuces. What's up?
appreciate you, my friend. Have a good night.
Anytime, brother. I love it.
I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good, brother.
Thank you.
Peace.
All right, guys. Well, this is another episode done. And just a shout, guys, go see Sarah. Her shakes, everything, the teas, the energy that I've been keeping up with, no more energy drinks for me. So go see Sarah. She's at Four Seasons Nutrition out at 23 Summer Street in North Brookfield. Tell her I send you. Everybody, have a great night. Another good one tonight. Thank you. Big announcement, by the way. We locked down Rich Gedman for tomorrow. We're going to be early, so I'll put it out there when you guys, if you want to listen. And it's about to be a dream come true. I'll tell you the truth. So thanks, guys. Have a great night.